Alrighty, guys. Good morning to you all here. Happy Sunday, April 20th. It is Easter Sunday here. Hope you guys are all doing well, getting out there, enjoying your lovely, lovely holiday weekends. We've got some severe weather to talk about here this morning. We've got one more day of significant severe weather across the Ozarks here, the Missouri Boot Hill area. If you guys were watching stream last night, we had at one point 12 tornado warnings in Oklahoma and in Texas ongoing at the same time. It was a ridiculous night. We also had our first 100-mile-an-hour severe thunderstorm warning in and around San Angelo, Texas yesterday. So lots of severe weather yesterday, mostly hail in terms of that. We had a couple tornado reports. We'll get to those over the next couple of days as we get that data in from the National Weather Service. I do want to go ahead and dive into, I'm going to try and make today a pretty quick video because everybody has things that they're doing today. We will be in live severe weather coverage mode this afternoon. We'll be on until about 5 p.m. Central Time. I won't be able to cover all evening, but we'll cover majority of what needs to be done for today. You guys can see a very, very active morning here across the Ohio Valley. We've got one complex of storms up here into Iowa and into portions of northern Illinois. This is not going to be anything severe. This should just be mostly heavy rain, but decent rainfall going to be moving in for a lot of areas that do need it. Flash flooding will also be a concern. This is our upper level low down here near Oklahoma that's spinning. I'm pretty sure you guys can see that wraparound moisture that's moving around the low here. Cold front extended down here to Texas. This warm front, we're going to be seeing this lift throughout the morning here, and that's going to open the door for some instability. If we can get enough instability to develop this afternoon, we'll have the threat for some strong tornadoes. There is a hatched tornado risk zone today for most of Missouri and northern Arkansas, where we could see a couple EF2 plus tornadoes. There also will be a threat for damaging winds and large hail. The tornado risk today, though, does override all of the other risk zones, meaning that tornadoes will be the highest significance for today, for Sunday. I wish I could say that there would be something different, but that's not the case, guys. If you live in Missouri and in Arkansas, in and around Illinois, and northeastern Texas, and northern Louisiana today, you need to be weather aware. This could be another dangerous day today for significant severe weather. We can start to see supercells are starting to fire here. So like I said, we'll be going live here pretty soon to cover this event. If you're watching this video now, if you're watching this video later, we'll probably already be live. So we will be live on both platforms, YouTube and TikTok today. Now we'll go ahead and go over to the Storm Prediction Center here and talk about what we're going to be seeing for today's outlooks. The enhanced risk there in the orange, the slight risk in the yellow, the marginal risk there in the green. We do have a hatched tornado risk today. That 10% hatched region does mean that there is a 10% chance of long track tornadoes today. It's EF2 strong tornadoes. Couldn't really rule out a strong EF2 plus tornado anywhere in that region for today. We'll have just enough low level shear in place to allow for adequate tornado genesis. The problem is going to be, are we going to have enough surface-based instability? If storms can become surface-based and we have enough instability, we will have the threat for multiple strong tornadoes in and around this region. I couldn't even rule out a strong tornado in the 5% region somewhere if that does in fact happen, especially as we go towards St. Louis this afternoon and this evening here. 5% tornado risk outside of the hatched region there for chance of EF0 to EF2 tornadoes. Still could see a strong tornado anytime you have a tornado risk. That does happen. A little bit lower of a chance there. And then a 2% outside of that into Texas, northern Louisiana, and western Illinois and southeastern Iowa. Wind risk today, 30, 15, and 5, meaning we have a threat for damaging winds on all areas there. The higher the chance, the better shot you have of seeing those damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And then we have a 15 and a 5% chance of hail of 1 to 2 inches in diameter. Like I said, though, that tornado risk outdoing everything else, at least as of right now. I wouldn't be shocked to see SPC shrink this down a smaller risk zone this morning just due to the cloudiness and the convection that's already ongoing. So we'll probably get some updates on this risk zone by the time the stream happens. So if you're watching this later on, this will probably be already updated. So just be mindful of that when you're watching this. The forecast will still stay, but just be mindful of the updates. After that, guys, no severe weather. We have no severe weather expected for tomorrow, so today will be the last day. I do think tomorrow will be a low-end day. I will mention, though, the Storm Prediction Center actually has already highlighted a marginal risk for severe weather on Tuesday here, so we will see another threat for some severe weather back down into Texas and Oklahoma and southern Kansas on Tuesday. There probably will be an upgraded slight risk at some point here with this for wind and hail. I will mention every day this week there probably will be some severe weather in this region. We are going to see these little bulges in our jet stream, these little shortwave troughs that are going to be moving through, and I do expect the southern and central plains to be active this week, whether it be wind, hail, and isolated tornado risk. We'll have to see what the Storm Prediction Center does, but I do think we'll see severe weather daily this week. And as we go towards the end of April here, the beginning of May, we're going to continue to see severe weather. This is really going to be the area that I'm going to be watching for over the next 2 weeks. This is where I think we'll continue to see severe weather on a daily basis, whether it's daily, weekly, wherever it happens. This is going to be the area to watch. It's that time of the year where the plains, the traditional tornado alley here is where we see most significant severe weather at. Not saying we can't see severe weather outside of that, but this is the area that we're going to be mostly focused at. The Storm Prediction Center as well, like I said, mentioning here, not seeing anything on the day 4 through 8 outlook, but they have mentioned in deeper outlooks here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this coming up weekend here. They're potentially watching something, also watching for a potential unstable air mass on Wednesday and Thursday, where we could see a little bit stronger of a severe weather threat on Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll be free to cover this week, guys. Like I said, we'll be covering severe weather this afternoon here for a little bit of time. I hope you guys, like I said, enjoy your Easter Sunday. We'll go ahead and get into the timing of this here into the Ohio Valley, into the Missouri Boot Hill, and the Arklatex here, and talk about what we're going to be seeing this morning. Like I said, ongoing showers and storms. This could limit overall convection. Like I said, we'll have to watch this and see what mesoscale does this afternoon. But that warm front's going to lift, and you're going to see right around 3-ish, 2 to 3 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to see these supercells fire off, and any of these supercells in front of our actual main line of storms that could become a strong tornado or two. We'll have to watch for large hail. So this is just north of St. Louis here, a little bit west of that. A couple of these cells trying to get going here. Not quite at that threshold, but we should start to see that tornado threat maximize, I would say, between 3 o'clock and about 8 p.m. this afternoon is kind of my thought process. A couple of those potentially producing some long hail and possibly a strong tornado. Most of this is going to be our main event right here. This is going to be a line of storms that could be producing some quasi-linear convective scale tornadoes. That's those QLCS tornadoes. They're embedded within those damaging wind events like we saw last night in Oklahoma, so we'll have to be watching these for any type of tornado potential. This is going to be around 21Z, so we're talking 4 to 6 p.m. on that time frame. So when people are eating, if you're out eating here Easter Sunday, you're out and about, you need to have a way to get alerts on your phones. I honestly would advise, if you're in these areas today, to move your Easter plans to probably Monday or another day or another weekend. This is just going to be a mess today in terms of severe weather. So if you feel better in removing and moving your plans somewhere else and just watching this today and getting through this, that might be my best option for you guys. I can't tell everybody to cancel their Easter plans, but this would probably be a smart day to do that. I definitely would be advising that in terms of the potential for tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail today. We're going to see this will continue to work its way east. By the time these storms get to about 7 to 8 o'clock tonight, like I mentioned, this isn't going to be this late overnight event like we saw last night. We should start to see the severe weather threat really dwindle down by the time 8 p.m., 9 p.m. gets here. I don't expect there to be too much severe weather ongoing after that. By the time this storm complex gets into Illinois, we really just don't have a lot of instability left. We should see some damaging wind and some hail still isolated, but the main tornado risk is going to be over with after dinner time tonight. So like I said, whether it be moving your plans back to, 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, or doing them earlier for early lunch, just try to find a window if you're able to be able to know what's going on with the weather. That's the best thing that I ask people. Like I said, we'll be live, so no need for that. By the time we get to 11 o'clock midnight tonight, these storms will be moving through, and they're already going to be sub-severe. There could be a conditional wind and hail threat down here into western Kentucky, but I'm not expecting too much in terms of that. And then we get to tomorrow, and really not expecting much other than general thunderstorms across the cold front area tomorrow with this trailing boundary that will be in place. So that's what we've got for today. Just kind of an idea here. I'll show you guys some instability values that we're looking at. We're not looking at ridiculous amounts of instability, and you can see majority of that overcoming here in the next couple of hours. We'll have to watch Missouri, northern Arkansas here down towards Louisiana, but we could get a little bit of some moisture return here and some instability in and around northern Illinois around 6 to 7 p.m. But you guys can see majority of the instability already gone. So that's going to be a key factor in if this severe weather threat even materializes today. Today's not a slam dunk. The threat is there. The reason why that tornado threat is so high is because there's enough shear in place. If we can get instability, we'll have a regional tornado outbreak. If we don't have enough instability, then we could just be looking at some wind, hail, and an isolated tornado, and then we're done for the day. So that's kind of what we're floating with today in terms of the severe weather potential. I will go ahead and hop over here and kind of talk about long-range models just briefly for a minute. This is the European model run. I've been talking about this system really more for 7 days now, I think. If you go back and watch each video this week, we've talked about this threat for severe weather on Sunday for quite some time. There's our shortwave trough there. This will be moving into a negative shortwave trough, which is going to allow for a little bit more instability, a little bit more shear to be pulled in here. Really not a lot of instability, like I said, not like we've had the last couple of days. That trough's going to go negatively tilted later on this afternoon, and that's where the best shot of overlapping moisture, instability, and shear is going to be at, is right after 3 o'clock this afternoon. As that trough goes negative, we're going to have to watch for the threat for a couple strong tornadoes, like I said, in northern Arkansas, central and southern Missouri. And then as the evening progresses here, that shortwave trough is going to take off. It's going to move up into the Ohio Valley. We'll still have a damaging wind and some hail conditional threat up into Indiana, Ohio, and western and central Kentucky through the evening hours and overnight hours tonight. And then potentially, we haven't seen this quite yet from the Storm Prediction Center, but I wouldn't be shocked to see a low-end marginal risk tomorrow for wind or hail up into portions of northern Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New York. We'll just kind of see if they decide to do anything on that. And then after that, we get a little bit uncertain into next week here, but we're going to be watching for a couple little shortwave troughs. You guys can see the jet stream kind of goes more zonal here. There's these little low-pressure systems, these little surface lows. There's just, in general, some shear aloft in the atmosphere. And anytime you get shear aloft in the atmosphere, you're going to get general thunderstorms that could produce wind and hail. You can kind of see where we're seeing that directional shear at here. So we're really going to be watching overlapping here with the plains, really more the southern plains, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas this week for the threat for severe weather going into Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not really looking at anything too organized. things start to get a little bit concerning as we go towards the end of next week. And we're going to be watching this potential major trough that could be coming through by the time next Friday night gets here. So this is next weekend's approach. Still a little bit of ways out here, but we could be seeing the threat for maybe a significant severe weather event going into next week. Some of the models have it, some of the models don't have it. We're just going to have to wait and see, but definitely looking at, once again, a 27th, 28th, 29th event, maybe down here into the southern central plains, maybe up into the Midwest and the Ohio Valley as we close out the month of April. That's definitely the next system I'm watching in terms of severe weather potential. And then after that, things just become a little bit uncertain, but it looks like to be that we're still going to have a pretty active pattern in terms of severe weather potential. So one more thing I do want to run over, guys, is the rainfall amounts. We've seen some historic rainfall amounts in Oklahoma just this week already. Last night definitely produced a lot of flash flooding events. We saw a significant amount of flooding in and around Oklahoma City. If you guys do see flooded roadways, please do not drive in them. Turn around, don't drown. Doesn't matter how deep you think it is. The water's going to be deeper. The roads underneath could be completely washed away. You don't know. So don't be driving in roadways if you don't have to, please. This is the rainfall expected through Wednesday here. We're still going to see some additional accumulation here, anywhere from Oklahoma up into portions of Wisconsin, back down here to the deep south as well, anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe an additional 3 to 5, 5 to 8 inches of rainfall anywhere in these areas. So just be mindful that flooding is going to be on the table going through the middle of and end of next week there. We'll keep you guys updated on that. I'll probably have a live stream here, both on YouTube and TikTok within the next hour to an hour and a half to get you guys ready to go for this event. We'll cover for a couple hours, and then I've got to get off by 5 p.m. Central Time tonight to get ready for our stuff. So I appreciate y'all for watching, all the support, all the love. As always, have a wonderful, wonderful Easter Sunday, guys, and we will see you guys in the next one.